There we
There we
go.
go.
Dean
What's
back,
going on,
Theory of the
brother?
Deadman. How are you, sir? Good to see you.
Doing very good. How are you doing?
Good, man. I'm really good, actually. Yeah, thanks for taking some time here to join us.
It's been a while.
Oh, it has been a while, yeah. I mean, I think it's been a good couple of years anyway since we've had a chinwag. But I was telling my kids the other day, the story of how we met. Do you remember how we met?
I do remember how we met, and I was just telling my kids the same story.
Oh yeah.
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 Let's see if our stories line up.
Yes.
I remember at Queen Elizabeth Park,
Pitch and
we
putt.
were pitch and putting. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, we got split up. We got the two, and then you and
Yeah.
Stacy. I don't think you guys were married yet then. I think it was just girlfriend, boyfriend.
Yeah, that's true. And I remember just hearing your voice behind me.
Yeah.
Going, I know that voice.
And then they paired us up, and yeah, about 6 holes in, you're like, hey, by the way, are you Todd from CFOX? I was like, yeah. Oh yeah, I got this cool band, Theory of a Deadman.
That's
like,
right.
all right. Well, maybe let's go listen to the album at we went to Tim's place, didn't we?
No, we went to Jeff's place.
Oh.
Jeff O'Neill's place.
No, definitely not that. No, we went to Tim's house,
sure?
man, and everybody came over.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I remember.
Anyway, it's been a while, man. It's been I mean, the album hadn't even been released. And when did that debut? When did it come out?
Yeah, well, it was 2002, so we're going back over 20 years now.
20 years, man. That's crazy. So how's your world? How are you and Stacy and the kids? Have you managed to evade COVID?
Yeah, we have, knock on wood.
Yeah.
So far.
We didn't. We managed to pick it up over the break, and it wasn't that bad. I've been more sick from like just the common cold and the flu. So
right. Yeah.
Jess was out for a while.
Here's getting it.
Yeah. It seems like everybody's getting this one, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm kind of scared because we're supposed to take off in a couple weeks for tour. Yeah. So that's my worst nightmare is getting it like 2 days before, and we're gonna have to cancel first few shows if I can't get out of here without getting it.
Right. And well, hasn't Theory had to actually cancel shows already?
Yeah. Last tour. Yeah, we had to cancel a bunch of shows. Dave and Joe got it.
Oh, they did.
Yeah. And again, like it didn't kick their ass too hard, but it knocked them down a bit.
Sidetracks you a little bit for sure, yeah.
Yeah, and then you got to be responsible and not bring it into the bus and bring it around fans and do your thing. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's a weird world out there doing the touring thing in this time.
No kidding. Hey, before I forget, we're driving back from kickboxing tonight with my little guy Levi, and I was saying, I'm talking to Dean from Theory of a Deadman. They love your band. And he goes, oh, cool. You got to ask him. And he's 9. He goes, you got to ask him, what's the biggest show he's played?
The biggest show. I mean, we played the Rock im Ring and Rock im Park, the 2 big Germany rock festivals early in our days. And I think there was estimated, it was over 100,000 people at those shows. And so that was massive.
Wow. That's just a sea of people.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And it was pretty new touring for us too. So like, I don't even remember what it looked or felt like because it's been so long ago. And
wow.
But that has got to be the biggest show. And then I think we did the Grey Cup halftime show.
Yeah,
which was also super cool. And that's a big show in a different reason, right? Because all of the viewers at home more than the people in the stadium.
Yeah, for sure. And so how many serious bands were you in before Theory of a Deadman?
None. No, this is something that we've been doing just out of high school and out of fun. And I mean,
crazy.
Theory of a Deadman had a couple different names throughout the years and a couple different lineups.
Right.
But I mean, I have never been in a band without Tyler and Dave.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. So what's the music like in the back home? Like as you were a kid growing up, what are your parents playing?
Like when I was growing up.
Yeah.
A lot of like my mom loved outlaw country.
Okay, so like Waylon Jennings and
all
Cash
and yeah. And my dad was really into blues, so a lot of BB King stuff, and you know, all the old blues stuff. And uh, I was lucky. I had older cousins, and the older cousins were into Pink Floyd and Zeppelin, and
Right. I was just
and
gonna
they're
say,
the
well,
ones that
so
really showed me.
yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say, like, who showed you that road then, the rock road that you're on right now? So it's your
yeah.
cousins.
I was lucky enough to have some cousins, older cousins with great musical taste.
Yeah. And what was your first concert you went to?
Aerosmith,
Wow.
90, I want to say 93, 92. Get a Grip. And it was, you know, you go see your first rock show, and
Oh,
that big with the production that they put on, and I was just instantly hooked.
yeah, those guys are crushers. Was that the Skid Row opening up?
No, who opened up? Oh, I'm
Was
drawing a
it,
blank,
it was like the early
but
90s. Skid Row did a bunch of shit with Aerosmith.
yeah, it wasn't Skid Row. I almost want to say it was Matthew Good, but
Wow.
yeah, it was at the old Pacific Coliseum.
Hmm.
It'll come to me.
All right, give us while you're thinking about it, give us 3 albums you'd need if you're stuck on a deserted island.
Oh wow. I mean, Appetite for Destruction is the album that really got me
Yeah.
into music.
Like, do you remember the first
Uh,
time hearing that as a kid, and like just how much your mind was blown?
yeah,
Crazy, man.
absolutely. And
Mike
again, it
Klink
was
is he's a genius. The guy that produced that album is a freaking genius, man.
yeah, oh totally. And then I gotta say, Houses of the Holy is probably my favorite Zeppelin record, and that's a big one for me.
What song specifically off that album?
Uh, I don't know. It's
It's like
it's the whole
trampled
album.
underfoot, and
Yeah, it's the whole album is front to back.
yeah,
And I think is that the record too that the Beastie Boys sampled on License to Ill, all the songs
yeah,
off that one too. And I think I was into Beastie Boys before Zeppelin, so that might have been why I'm drawn to that record.
yeah.
And oh man, another like right now I'm really into Silverchair, and Diorama is just an incredible record. But yeah, I don't know. There's so
What did
many
you
good
think
ones.
of the direction that those guys took a little bit later on in their career? It was almost like not even rock; it was pop-ish
Yeah,
towards the
I
end.
loved it. I thought it was great. And I don't know if you've heard his podcast yet, but
No,
Daniel Johns did a podcast, and it was just great insight to what he was going through and how he was thinking creatively back then.
well, I
So
mean, how
yeah.
old was he? He was like young, 16,
Oh yeah, when they first started that first
like Frog
record, yeah, it
Stomp. He
was
was just a
16.
punk kid.
Yeah, yeah. And then he you know, he became so famous that he couldn't handle it and had to try something else. And yeah.
Yeah, fame must be weird,
Yeah,
hey? He
yeah.
just lost.
I'm lucky that I get to. Well, I'm so not recognizable in my own little circle, and
Right.
I love. Like my kids always ask me, you know, wouldn't you want to be super famous? I'm like, no, I would not. Like going
Yeah.
places with Tyler and stuff. He
I
gets
was just gonna
recognized
say
all over
it's
the
got to be a
place.
little bit different for Tyler. Like, here's the
Yeah,
face of Theory of a Deadman.
totally. Yeah, so he gets
Yeah,
recognized.
yeah.
But
I
no,
think the question that fans want to know most is, are you guys working on new stuff? And like,
yeah.
what's it been like during the pandemic to work on stuff like that?
Uh, well, a lot of our recording process, uh, it all starts with Tyler's ideas, and he just comes up with ideas, and he's got a great little studio at his place, and then he sends us ideas, and like I've been sitting with the new material and coming up with ideas and bass lines and all that stuff. And you know, we have a tour coming up in a couple weeks, and then the plan is to jump in the studio right after this tour. So probably in mid-March, I think we'll hopefully be getting into the studio, recording some stuff.
Nice.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
did
we'll
you
see how it
ever
goes.
think that that your band would get as big as it's gotten? Like, I mean, I'm friends with you guys, and I never thought that you'd get as big as you got. And of course,
I
no
love
diss on the
that.
music. I love your band, but you guys are massive, man. It's crazy.
I've missed a lot of that. I'm sorry, one more
Uh,
time.
yeah, I was just saying, like, can you believe how big your band got?
Yeah, not really. No, sometimes I think like I was on Spotify the other day, and like RX I think has 180 million streams, and it's just it doesn't register.
Like what?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I pinch myself every time we're about to hit stage and
Yeah.
see rooms full of people, and and then reminiscing with you about the back of the early days and getting started and thinking about how far we've come. And yeah, no, it is hard to believe over the 20 years what we've been able to accomplish.
Yeah, it's been pretty amazing. Okay, Dean, let's hit some fan questions. Emma wants to know, she says, ask Dean, what's the craziest thing that's ever happened while on tour?
Oh man, this goes back many years, but the craziest thing that happened on tour was we were touring around, and we were doing about, like, between shows about 400 or 500 miles. We're traveling pretty quick, and the same fan was at all our shows, and we were like, this is weird. Like, how do you get to these places? You're coming to see us all these places. Like, oh, I'm just a huge fan. And so we took off again after our show late at night, 2 a.m. or whatever, and we were caravanning with our truck driver and another band. And this was in the middle of the night. We're all sleeping. We pull off to a truck stop to get gas, and our truck that was carrying the gear behind us radioed to our bus driver, "Stop! Someone just fell off your bus."
What?
And so she was riding between the trailer and the bus on the hitch, and that's how she was getting between the shows.
What?
So yeah, so we had to leave her at this gas station, and she showed up to the show still the next day, and we had to call the police. And
Oh,
so that's
God.
one of the craziest experiences that we had on tour. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Brad goes, what's the best road prank that he's been involved in?
Oh man, that's something that we don't do much anymore.
Yeah.
Just the pranking thing is not, doesn't happen. I was never big on it myself. I didn't really like to get involved in the pranks.
Yeah.
But when Joe, our drummer, joined the band, he hadn't really toured much, so it was all new to him, and he had fallen asleep. And I remember it was the crew guys, from what I remember, filled his bunk up with balloons and then caution taped his whole bunk closed. And then in the middle of the night, started banging on his bunks, like, I don't know if he said they're fire, we got to get out of here. And he woke up and his whole bunk was full of balloons, and he couldn't get out.
Nice.
And yeah, that was pretty good prank. But
Yeah.
I'm innocent. I didn't do it.
No, of course, Dean. Cam goes, is Dean a gambler?
A little bit. I love to gamble.
What do you do?
Well, I do a lot of sports gambling. I love betting on games.
What do you bet on most? You bet on the Canucks, or what do you do?
Football, I've been doing a lot. I love golf. I love betting on a golf weekend.
Oh.
You go on the website and you pick your fantasy golfers, and
yeah,
and you do that. If it's casino, I like blackjack and craps.
Yeah.
And then on the bus, I don't know if anybody's familiar with left, center, right, LCR, the dice game. It's an awesome dice game, and we get all the guys, the band and the crew playing this dice game
Nice.
and it's a fun one. It's easy.
What's the most you won? What's the most you lost?
Oh, I would say
Anything
the
big?
most I've won, no, a couple $100 here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that high.
Oh, dude.
High risk.
I'm the same way, man. Like if I win 500, I'd be like, yeah. But if I lost 500, I'd be like, fuck. Like,
yeah,
all these other things I could have done with that money instead,
Totally. Yeah, it was the other day where the football schedule lined up that if it's the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Chargers, if they ended in a tie, the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't make it into the playoffs. So I put $5 on a tie, and it paid $65 if they tied, and they ended up tying.
Nice.
I was like, oh,
Yes!
so that was a big win for me. $65. I was happy about that.
Nice. All right, Sarah goes, and I like this question. Which Theory song do you wish was released as a single?
Oh, it's funny because like Santa Monica was really big in Canada and has grown quite big in the States too, but it was never really released as a single in America. So I would have to say I would love Santa Monica to be properly released in America.
That's crazy. Don't they normally release that at the same time? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, there was a disagreement between our Canadian label and our American label, where the Canadian label was passionate about Santa Monica and the American label was passionate about I'm trying to remember what the song was. Hello Lonely, I think. They wanted Hello Lonely as a single. So I think they released Hello Lonely and didn't do Santa Monica. And still, it's one of the biggest songs on our live show. It has a great crowd response.
Yeah, and sing along parts and all that kind of shit. Yeah, it's a huge song.
Yeah.
Glenn goes, who are some of your bass heroes?
Oh man, well, Duff McKagan is one of my faves.
Yeah. Have you met him?
I love, kind of. When we were recording, I want to say Gasoline, Velvet Revolver was jamming next to us. So we were doing all our pre-production. And it was pretty cool because we had Velvet Revolver on one side, we had Dio on the other side, and like we would stop for a bit and we would hear like a GNR song blaring on one side, or we'd hear a Dio song coming. I remember Dio was playing one song. We all ran into the bathroom when we had our ears up against the bathroom wall listening.
Nice.
That was awesome. But yeah, no, we were in the same lunchroom. So I think I was getting a glass of water, and Duff came in and just said, "Hey, how's it going?" Good. Small talk, and that was that.
Yeah. Nice. Who else do you like?
I love everything that John Entwistle did with the Who.
Yeah.
It's I love listening to all his parts.
Yeah.
Massive.
Of course, John Paul Jones, of course, would be up there, I would think.
John Paul Jones.
Yeah. Did you get into that stuff he did with Dave Grohl
them Crooked Vultures
and Josh? Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to a bunch of it, but yeah, it was good. I liked it, but never really got too heavy into it.
Yeah. All right, let's get outside of music for a sec here, Dean, and kind of get to know you a little bit more here. What are you binge watching lately? What are the shows you can't get enough of?
Well, what I just finished Dope Sick.
What's that?
So it's all about Purdue Pharma, the OxyContin crisis in the States. So it's all based on real events and stuff, but it is acted. So it's Michael Keaton and Rosario Dawson.
It's on Netflix right now. Dope Sick.
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus, I think.
Oh, is it?
Through
Stars. I think I've seen it. Yeah, it's good.
It's so good. It's so good, and it really ties in with our song RX, which was written for the opioid epidemic that happened, and to see how this show portrays it, and then remembering all the fans that would come up to us and tell us their stories with their loved ones that had passed away from overdoses or themselves struggling with it. It really hit home, and it was emotional for me to watch that. So Dope Sick, I can't recommend it enough. I finished Yellowstone, which is really good. Yeah,
great series.
And then Succession, me and Stacy watched Succession together.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more of a night owl now. Stacy goes to bed super early, so
same for my wife. Same thing. She's like 8:30, 9 o'clock. She's in bed. I'm like, well, I guess I got 3 or 4 hours on my own here now.
That's right. Yeah. So I take advantage, and that's when I binge watch stuff.
Yeah. Did you get into the superhero movies and the series and all that? Flash and
I tried, and no, I can't do it.
Not into it.
I got a bunch of school buddies, and their dads of boys. Like I got 2 girls, so it's not big in my household.
Yeah.
But all the boy dads are all talking Marvel stuff, and I'm lost. I don't get it. But no. But over the holidays, we as family, we just binged the whole Harry Potter series.
Oh yeah.
We had never watched any of that before.
Yeah, those are great. So how old are your kids now?
They're soon to be 11 and 13.
Okay, so you're just a couple past me. I'm at the 11 and 9 right now, and we did the same thing, man. We binged through the Harry Potter. We also put them through the Lord of the Rings, which
Oh,
probably wasn't the
yeah.
best parenting that I've done.
I've contemplated it, and I think that
Dude,
like, my youngest one is pretty wheezy when it comes to anything semi scary or so. She's not ready for that yet.
yeah, like we get to like the huge battle parts and like, yeah, probably too young for this, but we're already in now, so why
Yeah.
can't stop it now? Hey,
Yeah.
what's the worst job you've had?
Worst job. I've been lucky. Like I always liked my jobs.
Yeah,
Um, I, I stuck with my jobs too. I wasn't one of those guys that jumped jobs. So
yeah.
I really haven't had a lot of jobs because I stuck with them for so long. Um,
Well, and you've been making rock for like
yeah,
better part of 2 and a bit decades, man.
yeah, that's right.
It's a pretty good
I worked
job.
in the auto body shop, just kind of hanging out with the guys driving cars back and forth and doing shop job like sweeping and
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. So that kind of stunk.
yeah. What's your favorite sport to play?
I still enjoy going out and play hockey.
Yeah, and you guys have done
Yeah,
some cool stuff with that, right? Like I've seen, you know, years ago now, but I've seen you guys posting stuff that you're like playing with actual NHL players and shit like that. There's been some pretty cool moments for that for you guys, hey?
yeah. The Juno Awards every year when before the pandemic, they did the Juno Cup. So every city that the Junos were in would get the hockey team's alumni and other hockey players, and they would play against us musicians. So we had a couple of those times. There's a
Who have you
rock
played
stage.
against?
Oh man, the first game we were in Ottawa, and I remember taking a pass, looking up, and I was one on one against Paul Coffey. I was like,
Nice.
oh, okay, well,
Like
something changed.
really?
Yeah,
I can't remember who it was that Dave Brenner was saying. He goes, "Yeah, man. Like I took a face off and I looked up and it's
it
can't
was
remember
Kirk
who.
Muller.
Kirk Muller. That's right. Yeah.
Kirk Muller.
Holy
Yeah,
crap! It's freaking Kirk Muller. I'm taking a face off against here.
yeah, he won the face-off too.
Amazing.
And we talked to him. There was like a happy hour afterwards, and Dave's like, "So, were you trying?" He's like, "Well, I wasn't trying like Stanley Cup playoffs, but
But
yeah, I
yeah,
was trying."
yeah. I don't want to lose to some rock and roll guy. Like, give me a break, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Dean. I'm going to wrap it up here with one last question,
Sure.
and I'm hoping you got a story. If not, that's cool. But share a near-death story with us.
A near death.
Like you're like, holy crap, I could have died there.
Yeah. So my last job before the ban was Canadian Springs Water, and we did a summer retreat where we went whitewater rafting
Oof.
up near Cache Creek, I think it was, and me and Stacy went up, and our raft capsized, and I got pulled out under into the whitewater, and I mean, I don't know how long I was really down there. It was
Sure feels
probably,
like a long time, though, right?
yeah, it was probably 20-30 seconds, but it felt like 2 minutes, and I was getting tossed underneath the water. I finally popped back up and didn't know where Stacy was, so my first thought is, where is Stacy?
Yeah.
And yeah, we got yanked to the shore and shaking after that one, and had to crack a couple beers just to
Yeah.
calm down a little bit after that
Chill
one.
those nerves a little bit.
Yeah, I would say that's probably the closest to death that
Yeah.
I've been.
That's a question I've asked every single one of my guests. And most people, like 95%, have a story, man. Like most people have had a brush with death.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think water would be a terrible way to go.
Oh, that and fire.
Yeah, fire
Fuck
and
both
water.
ways,
No,
man. That'd be terrible.
totally.
So what's the rest of 2022 looking like for you guys? You're pretty close to getting on tour. Do you think that you're mentioning, going into studio possibly, would that mean that we'd have a new Theory album this year, or is that like for next
We're
year?
this is sort of the world that we're living with music now, is that you don't really need a record anymore. You just need a few songs,
Right.
and you'll eventually get the record. But we want to have, I think the goal is to have a single before the summer,
Nice.
so we can have a song out before the summer and get some summer touring in, and keep recording, and have a record ready for end of this year, I would imagine, but get some new music out as soon as possible.
Beauty.
It really was bad timing for us, this pandemic. I mean, it was bad timing for everybody, but
Yeah.
our new
What a shit
record,
timing for a pandemic.
it came like we started our Canadian tour on the release of our latest record, which was January 31st of 2020. And then everything shut down, and we finished the Canadian tour. We got home on it was the leap year, so February 29th we came home, and our first single, History of Violence, was #1 in the States. And then the pandemic hit, and we didn't get to tour it, and then we didn't get to tour the whole record. But yeah, it's exciting. We want to get some new material out there, some new music, and go out and hit the road and support it, go see all the fans.
Right on, dude. Right on. Well, you are at theory_Dean on Instagram. Is there still that fake Dean account? Do you know?
I think I got taken care of. There was somebody impostering. You made it when, right? Like,
what in the fuck? The guy have fucking more than I do. How's that? What the?
Yeah,
what?
seriously. Yeah, they had way more followers than me. I'm like, okay, maybe we can swap accounts.
Yeah. You want my account? I'll grab yours. All right, Dean, I'm gonna wrap it up, man. Have a great night. Say hi to the boys, and
appreciate it, Todd. The boys say hi too. I told them that I was going to be jumping on.
Nice.
Say hi.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll see you online, and hopefully soon for a beer or something.
Yeah, buddy. Appreciate it.